stuff you like, and we're going old school in three senses this week. 1, Shakespeare. 2, the 90s. And 3, straight up just, I like this and it's cute, come share my joy. Even the parts with Keanu Reeves failing to be convincingly evil. Seriously. Ready? Right. The plot of Much Ado About Nothing / Love's Labours 1 / seriously everyone is freaking out over this poor girl's virginity goeth thusly. This is the prince, and he and these guys just won some battle. Benedick and Beatrice like insulting each other. The prince's brother is evil for basically no reason, and a convoluted plot to ruin a young woman's life because it will hurt the prince's fifis ensues. To wit, Hero, Beatrice's cousin, and Claudio, Benedick's best friend, are going to get married with the blessing of the prince and Hero's dad. Evil for no reason, Don John sets it up that Claudio and the prince catch someone having sex on Hero's balcony in the dark and think it's her, and then instead of storming up there to break off the engagement, discovering it's not her and hence no play, Claudio publicly humiliates her in front of the entire town at their wedding. She faints and her family pretend she's dead. In the meantime, Benedick and Beatrice have both overheard from people who entirely meant them to overhear it that the other is desperately, violently in unrequited love with them. And for this reason, they both decide to love the poor sap back to spare them the agony. Not because they fancy each other. No, definitely not that. After the wedding disaster, Beatrice is crying and Benedick asks how he can help, and she responds,
"Kill Claudio."
Which he won't do, but he does at least believe her that Hero has been treated badly. More plotting, the prince and Claudio find out that they were tricked, Claudio marries Hero's cousin. Oh wait, actually it's her. Another Hero. Dumbass. And Benedick and Beatrice finally admit that yeah, they do kind of fancy each other. I guess we can get married. Yeah, why not? It's like a proto Pride and Prejudice, but much more dramatic. Especially when Kenneth Brannagh directs, because did somebody order a large ham? The plot is never really the primary interest of Much Ado though, because it resolves itself by itself. It's solved so simply and treated so lightly that you barely have time to feel any feelings for the characters before, whoops, it's all fine. But let's be real, Much Ado is all about the wordplay. Random thematic point, Hero and Claudio declare their bland, pretty love for each other in blank verse, as is traditional. Benedick and Beatrice, it's pretty much prose all the way, which probably made what I once heard described as their epic a cappella rap battles much easier to write. That said, this play that everyone remembers for the beta couple contains very little of them actually together, and Beatrice especially is quite a small part in terms of stage, page, screen time. That being said, Benedick and Beatrice are obviously and far away the best bits of the play, and everything else is really just there so they can do the verbal sparring which people like to quote so much. Well, the verbal sparring and
I would eat his heart in the marketplace!
Because seriously, if someone did that to one of my cousins, same. However, we don't actually eat his heart. At least not in the literal sense, but we do publicly humiliate Claudio in front of the entire town, because turnabout is fair play. I mean, he still gets the girl and all, but still. I don't know that I'd want to marry him after all of that, because vindictiveness and lack of trust in your future wife are not attractive traits, but it's not that unreasonable that he believes the evidence of his own eyes. After all, he barely knows the girl. Still in all, what an idiot. I mean, Bingley is just much better by comparison. He is also gullible and easily led, but at least he's not a complete jerk about it. Though Jane's alleged offence is admittedly less serious than straight up cheating on him the night before their wedding, so. Joss Whedon's set in the modern day in his house version keeps in like the kind of dude that's a bit racist lines for Claudio to make him actually just even more of a prat. Kenneth Brannagh goes the completely clueless and gullible and naive and easily led route. And I think the Tennant Tate version has lovable dumbass Claudio as well. But who's really paying attention to Hero and Claudio in any version? We're here for Benedick and Beatrice, my favourite Shakespearean couple. And if it's the Kenneth Brannagh version, we're possibly also here for inexplicably evil and oily shirtless Keanu Reeves, bless him he's trying, and maybe a touch of Brian Blessed! It's an extremely over-the-top film. I mean, the bones of the play are completely over-the-top and also quite insubstantial because nothing lasting of any consequence happens to anybody, basically. But Kenneth Brannagh has taken this and run with it, and so Benedick loudly declares that he will love Beatrice while frolicking in a fountain. Both of them run around the gardens hiding behind statues and hedges while they overhear that the other is in love with them, and the opening credits have slow-mo men on galloping horses, followed by acres of naked bathing people for some reason. But still, Emma Thompson. While I would adore a modern setting where Benedick is a jock and Beatrice is like a perky goth a la Abby Shuto or something, Emma Thompson plays her with this sort of ocean of melancholy, and it's amazing. She goes in really hard for the lines which suggest that there was a previous thing between them that ended badly, and that really works for me. But then I basically always love Beatrice. I have a terrible weakness for witty heroines with, like, ideas about society. Beatrice, Lizzie, Leia, Maid Marian and her merry men. That being said, Benedick is also one of those roles that gets me right in the feels. I mean, David Tennant probably wasn't a hard sell for me in the first place, but I watched Kenneth Brannagh and Emma Thompson's opening scene and was like, it's funny and kind of cute, but geez, what a drama llama. But you can forget your dramatic Macbeth soliloquies and your hilarious anatomical puns, of which there are ever so many. You can even forget your witty a cappella rap battles. The line in Shakespeare which gets me every single time.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
And it doesn't matter if it's the soft, wondering realisation of Branagh or the tactless blurting of a socially awkward dork with impeccably bad timing like Tennant.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. It's not that strange.
Right in the feels. Every time. Okay. Almost every time. And of course it's helped along by the fact that Benedick may refuse to kill Claudio, but he still takes Hero's side. He believes Beatrice over Claudio even though he has very little reason to and a lot to lose if he's wrong. Probably more than the wit or the words is that unshakable belief that he has in her. Even when he's insulting her to her face, he's still really complimentary about her behind her back. Nah, mate, you're not in love with her. No. No, definitely not. Benedick and Beatrice. Shakespearean OTP. Kenneth Branagh's Much Ado About Nothing, where people frolic in white outfits like they're in a tampon ad and Keanu Reeves is pointlessly evil for no adequately defined reason. Go on. You know you want to. Oh, also another thing you want to do is hit the subscribe button and come back next time.